When I was younger, I never knew what menopause was. I mean, why would I know what menopause is? As a man, obviously. But it is something that women never really talked about. And it's just something that maybe women were expected to go through silently. I mean, it wasn't until I got into medical school and started doing biology that I was like, oh, menopause. So this is what X and X has been going through. And now menopause has kind of become a trendy topic. You can hear about menopause in the papers, some celebrities saying, wow, I've been having night sweats and hot flushes at night, and this fantastic medication has totally changed my life. But before we talk about all that, let's talk about what is menopause. Menopause is basically when you no longer have periods. That's it, your periods have stopped, which means you no longer can get pregnant. So usually for some women, their periods can be between 21 to 35 days, or they can have monthly periods. So if you've had no monthly periods for the last 12 months, you can be classed as postmenopausal. However, if it's not been yet 12 months, you can have periods anytime within that 12 months. So you'll be classed as perimenopausal or going through the menopause transition. For instance, if you're age 50 and it's not been 12 months since you last had your period, you will still need to be on contraception because you can fall pregnant at any time. And in fact, I have met women in their 50s who have fallen pregnant either through natural means or other means such as IVF. And that's because they're still releasing eggs. Now, the average age of menopause in the UK is around the age of 46, and the average age of being postmenopausal, at which time you stop having periods for 12 months, is around the age of 52. Now, some women can have menopause much earlier than this. So for example, if you have menopause below the age of 45, it is classed as early menopause. And if you have menopause below the age of 40, it is classed as premature menopause. So why does menopause occur? So naturally, your estrogen levels decline with age, and that is because your ovaries are not producing as much estrogen and progesterone as they used to due to the reduced number of eggs being released. So normally you have two hormones which are released by the pituitary gland called the FSH and the LH. So these hormones would usually stimulate the ovaries to produce estrogen and progesterone, which help to prepare the womb for pregnancy as the egg gets released during ovulation to meet the sperm, and it then becomes fertilized. However, if the egg is not fertilized, your levels of estrogen and progesterone drop, which means that the lining of your womb then becomes shed, leading to a period. And that's how you have a period. However, with menopause, as the eggs are not being released, the ovaries are not responding to the LH and the FSH, so your estrogen and progesterone levels begin to drop. And meanwhile, you have high levels of LH and FSH circulating in the blood. So menopause transition can be natural, or there can be other reasons for going through the menopause, either prematurely or early. So the most common cause of premature menopause under the age of 40 is called premature ovarian failure. So with premature ovarian failure, the ovaries are not producing estrogen for whatever reason. The majority of cases, there is no known cause as to why your ovaries are not producing estrogen, but causes could be, for example, if you had a genetic condition such as Turner syndrome, where basically you do not have any ovaries. It could be an autoimmune condition such as underactive thyroid, or it could be you had treatment for cancer, which is chemo or radiotherapy, which stops the ovaries from producing eggs. You also have what we call surgical menopause, where basically your ovaries have been removed surgically. Again, this can happen under the age of 40, for example, in women who might have a family history of breast and ovarian cancer, and they want to remove their ovaries quite early to prevent the risk of having breast or ovarian cancer, or it might be removed for whatever reason, such as heavy vaginal bleeding, as in what we call a hysterectomy, where basically your uterus might be removed along with one or two ovaries, or in some cases your uterus might be removed, sparing both ovaries, but the ovaries might stop working. You also have other factors like smoking, being underweight, as well as having a family history of early or premature menopause, where you might have moms or grandmothers or aunties who might have had early or premature menopause in their 40s or before the age of 40. So I hope this has given you a brief understanding of what menopause is, why you go through the menopause, and what is premature menopause. In our next video, we'll be talking about the symptoms of menopause and explaining why you have these symptoms of menopause, so stay tuned.